Right then, this is a quick walk around video for a really exceptional car. This is a Honda Civic 1.8 EX. It's an automatic car, but it's covered just 5,100 miles from new. It really is a one-off, this car. Finished in black with a full black leather interior, and it is, as you expect, in really lovely condition. Front of the car, as you can see, lights and lenses are clear and intact without any cracks or condensation in them. Bumper very clean, likewise bonnet, which I can't see a stitch of any great note on there at all. So we just car going by. Coming to the near side, passenger side, again beautifully smooth in the panel work. Near side front alloy, one that takes all of the bashing, hardly exhibits a mark. Those very light marks on the outside edge, which you're naturally going to get. Panel works beautiful. It's literally just been wiped off. It's not even been polished or anything. This side rear alloy, again beautiful. Coming on the back, all very clean and tidy. And the offside, driver's side of the car. Again, absolutely beautifully smooth in the panels. Side rear alloy, absolutely unmarked there. And the remaining panel work is beautiful on the car. I mean, there will be, I always say, and it is true, even as lovely as the car is with the mileage it's done, it is a 10-year-old car, there will be the odd minor mark, which I may have missed, but not intentionally, but that is exceptional. Coming to the boot area now, absolutely cavernous boots, and it is in beautiful condition. Coming to the back of the car now, wide opening rear doors. As I mentioned in the following road test video, we haven't cleaned the car. This is exactly how it's come to us. And normally in the back of Civics, even low mileage ones, they've been very heavily used, and yet that is in gorgeous condition. So into the front and the passenger side, again very clean and tidy. Passenger seat there, been given absolutely minimal use. Finally coming on the driver's side, door card lovely and clean. Same with the footwell areas. The driver's seat, again, in absolutely fantastic condition. So inside the car now, as always, the engine's running, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated, which looks almost factory fresh. It's incredibly clean. Sat nav, you can see, working exactly as it should. Let's pop the car into reverse there. Reverse camera working exactly as it's intended as well. To come back here to show you this wonderful dash design. That's basically how you set your driving position, so the steering wheel rim is just above the rev counter and below the speedo there. But what a glorious dash design that is. No warning lights on the course, and this just panning there for you just so you can see it. 5,135 miles. Absolutely incredible. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for quite an extraordinary car really. This is a Honda Civic 1.8 EX automatic. The car is registered BP63HHE. Mileage of the vehicle, basically it's just 5,128. It's incredible mileage. By the way, the reason we do all of our videos, and especially actually this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. The reason we feel it's important is simply because, like so many people, have been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out there's an obvious fault that shows up when you drive the car. We also do it on the roads here, which basically we do our road tests and test drives for customers, and the hope is then it'll be representative of what you feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car, which will be restricted on this car, I have to say that straight away, because we'll be trying to keep the mileage down and the risk is too great. It's such a rarity. But coming to the car, I mean, with such low mileage, you know, there's almost no point watching the rest of the video in lots of ways unless you particularly want to. It drives absolutely perfectly. It's just such a lovely car. But as I always do, I'm going to go through it one by one, starting with the engine, which starts instantly, of course, and settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge is running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on one of these cars. The engines are simply brilliant. It's everything you want and love about a Honda engine, especially a 4-cylinder one, because they build the best 4-cylinder engines in the world, without a doubt. It's smooth, it's quiet, it's just so easy on the ear when you put your foot down. It's got a sweet edge to the engine note. There's no kind of harshness that you get with some cars. But being a Honda, of course, they're incredibly tough and reliable. And this one isn't even running yet. It takes a lot longer than that to run these in fully. It's basically almost like a new car in that sense, but wonderful unit. Engine then feeds into the auto gearbox, which, like the engine, has a reputation for being incredibly strong and reliable. Ratios chosen obviously carefully to extract the best out of the car, both in terms of economy but also performance. The gear shifts are wonderfully smooth. Hardly feel them, which is exactly what you'd expect of a Honda. Notwithstanding reliability, however, and regardless of mileage, you should still do the same checks on any automatic car, and that's just to make sure that when you select a gear, particularly from neutral into drive or reverse, there shouldn't be any great clunks or thunks as they engage, nor should there be any kind of harsh gear changes on the move. And in every respect, this one's absolutely perfect, as you rightly expect it to be. Steering and chassis of the car, again, absolutely fantastic on these cars. The steering is what I love of a good power steering setup. It's quick, it's accurate, it's dynamic in terms of, when you change direction, it's keen and eager to do it without being oversensitive. The weighting's really well done, so it's not overlight where you feel as though you feel completely detached from the car. They've just got it absolutely spot on. And of course, it tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. And the chassis, again, what it gives you is the best of both worlds. It's a compliant, well damped ride. It's very well judged. So only kind of the harshest, that one there, really horrible bump in the road, you'll ever really notice. Other than that, it smothers things out very well indeed. It's very, very comfortable. But what it's brilliant at is allowing all of that, but still allowing you, fun through the corners. It hardly any roll coming through the chassis. It loves corners of all types, radius, off camber, on camber, bumpy ones or otherwise. Just eats them up. It's a brilliant, brilliant chassis. Also notable, absolutely no clonks, rattles or creaks from underneath the car that shouldn't be there. So all in very, very fine order indeed. Coming to the brakes, I'm just going to leave my braking a little bit late for this corner deliberately. It's hold onto my phone, but basically brake pedals absolutely fantastic. Nice, solid, powerful brake pedal. There's no pulsing or vibrations at all coming through the brake pedal, so all in a very, very fine order. And then finally coming inside the car, first things first, as with all the Civics of this generation, a beautifully put together car, but also just a lovely place to sit and drive a car, because Honda, to be their credit, dared to be different, but not just for show. It's not there just to be quirky and then you live with it, think, oh, that looks nice, and then start using it, think, oh, why did they put buttons down there, why is that gauge over there? This is for a reason, all of it, which is why I love them. But more that the architecture is just so pleasing to the eye. You've got lovely materials used throughout the car. The most conventional part is the centre stack here. So you've got your sat nav all working perfectly. You've got dual zone climate control, so you can have different temperatures side to side if you so wish. Again, pumping out absolutely ice cold air, so all working exactly as it should. All the switch gear, as is always the case with these Hondas, when you press it, has that beautifully damped feel to it. Brilliantly engineered and put together. But my favourite part by far is this two-tier design dashboard. So basically the upper deck is the stuff you're going to look at most regularly. And what they've cleverly done, you've got an information pod up there. So if you were to change things like your fan speed or radio, you've got a small display down here. If I press that, I've got a much bigger display up there, so you can see it very, very clearly indeed. But the gauge that everyone looks at most commonly, or should do at least, is your speedo. And there it is, all by itself, crystal clear, big, bold. I can look at the cars ahead, pedestrians, cyclists, whoever happens to be. But at the corner of my eye, without taking my eyes off the road at all, you can clearly see the speed you're travelling at. It is brilliant in the way it's done and just beautifully displayed. Then below that, you've got more conventional pod of 3 dials, big rev counter in the middle, flanked either side by your temperature and fuel gauges. But just detailing is typical of Honda, just really neat and nicely done. And then you've got this lovely leather-bound, quite sporty feeling steering wheel, which, like the rest of the interior, just looks absolutely fantastic. It is in beautiful condition, and as I said, the walk-around video, we've not even cleaned it yet. It just doesn't really need anything, but it will be given a clean. But we're not going to go mad because I just don't want to ruin the kind of the originality of it. But it's beautiful in condition. This is a real one-off with this kind of mileage and this spec, which we're fully aware of. But whoever gets it next will get an absolutely wonderful car.